Your best community model is amazing. I studied this in the 1970s, and it was Finhorn Foundation in Scotland. They started off just a couple and a psychic, 3 people. They had no money. They were all on welfare. One had just lost his job from the hotel. And they lived on the beach in a caravan with a couple kids. They had no food, no money. So the psychic one, there's always one that's more physical, one more mental, one more spiritual in a group. The psychic one got a hit that they needed to grow and get these seeds for pumpkins. I think it was pumpkins. And to put something in the soil. She heard exactly what they needed to put in the soil. And they did, and it grew 30 and 40 and 50-pound pumpkins the first season. So they had plenty of food. So they kept doing this, and they kept attuning themselves to the earth, nature spirits, the Devic community, the elves, fairies, and gnomes. Yes, they exist. God created creatures. I'm not kidding. They create a great world. Well, this community works right with them, hand in hand, with the nature spirits that have always been around that man has pushed aside all these years. Okay? What they've done is they've built a whole community. Now this community has their own money. They have meetings. They have 15,000 visitors per year. They have 200 that live average on the community. They have over 200 residences and buildings. They own the hotel the guy got fired from, Peter Caddy, and his wife Eileen was. So they have these seminars to teach you how to build community. They have a bursary program. If it's on the sliding scale of what your income is, for 1 week for an experiential visit to experience the place, you can come. If you have a very little income, they'll do it on a graduating scale. But the bursary program is if you have no money, just to be able to get there is all you need to do. I've been wanting to get there. Just the airfare over there and to get there. They will train you because they want to use this as a model so everybody can build these kind of communities. Do you understand? It's extremely important. So they don't want you to stay there. And I have one guest on my show that it's in my archive records. But she was there, Kathleen Burke. She just went on a visit, a lark for a week, came back to stay for a month, ended up staying for 5 years. She's back now. But she said they do something each week that's unusual. In each department, when you first come, you sit with people that are psychically aware, and you meditate to attune what department you should work in, even when you go for the first week. And you attune where you're meant to be. And she worked in one department, and then she ended up working in the building maintenance areas of the hotels and the structures for her time there. But each week, each department on Wednesday sits and they meditate to attune, to ask the department what it needs to run better, what they need to be able to put in to be making it more efficiently. So they use the process not just spiritually once, but they apply the information. And so this is a phenomenal, it's finhorn.org. It's a phenomenal place to go. This is their large center, their community center that was built by their members. So it's beautiful, the energy there. Many people see those little nature spirits, Devic community there. Those that are aware consciously, many of them see them. And that's their community center. So it has a beautiful feel. It's off of the coast of northern island of Finhorn Bay. And they, again, own a large plot. But they had a caravan, a trailer. That's all they had at the beginning. They can do it, 3 people. You can do this. Now this is Cal Earth Domes outside of Hesperia, California. And I visited 3 times. And people are poor too. So this man, Nadir Khalidi, a great architect who went to Turkey, I told you earlier, came back, and you can take the tubes for sandbags before they cut them, and take the dirt under your feet, stick them in those bags, have your son, your grandma filling those bags, and they make a spiral, and they hold them together as Velcro is barbed wire. That's it, 2 rows of barbed wire. And they make these. This is this in the daylight, and isn't it beautiful? All done by hand. 7 people can make one in a short time. 20 people, you should aspire to help each person build your unit. Now, they take it, and that's all smoothed out by hand. And that's an energy from your hands that protects as well. This is how it looks with the sandbag tubing. So they've got it built up, and they tamp it down, each layer. But they show you how to do this easily 1 week there as well. They have people from all over the world come to learn. And this is to do it just with the dirt under your feet. And I was sitting in one of them. Look how beautiful. You can leave it rough or you can put it smooth. But I was sitting in one talking, and I felt all of a sudden a different energy. Because in the round room we have a totally different vibratory rate and energy that helps support our higher self spiritually, all our chakras, all our energy systems. It was amazing, not the corners of the room that we normally have in rectilinear architecture. And here's one that they've just built. Look at these 5 guys having a good old time. Tamp it down. Okay? So this is easily done and cheap. So it can be done, and it looks like this in process. As a team you work. And this is somebody that finished off. Okay, this is what they wanted theirs to look like. But open your mind to different architecture than you used to sustain all the environmental changes that you have to go through and weather. And then remember the energy that it's emitting toward your body. In this change of the new changes from the Mayan New Age here that we're getting ready to enter into, we will no longer treat people as harshly as we ever did before. Corporations will no longer poison the people. Do you understand? Our foods will now enhance everything. So it's a beautiful period we're getting ready for because we know the mistakes. This period, even astrologically, of the last 2 years, was to reveal to you by pulling the wool off of your eyes to show you how horrible your governments and corporations have done to you, what they've done. So you will never, ever allow this to happen to you ever again. You must learn to stand up. They did in Iceland. But you must call it. You put those leaders in process. You put them in power. And you didn't do anything. You just cared about your Xbox, your TV, your shows, your Homer Simpson. Please, you must care enough for yourselves. And this is what this new period will herald. This is another larger structure they're building. This is the interior one that snaps together. The problem with the one that snaps together is the wind will seep underneath and pull and rip the tiles off the same way it would if it was geodesic. It won't work. But at least it's a nice structure. You can see how you can line things up against a round wall. And this is a dome again from the Japanese domes. Look how nice. Everything you might need. Here's all the structure. This is one inside Cal Earth Dome, and they had it vaulted with 2 flat ends. Better not to have flat ends, but they couldn't get financing. But I found a way through that. In California, if you call it emergency temporary housing, you don't have to worry about the normal permits. Because you're not going to live there until the event, right? It's emergent, and it's temporary for 6 months, 2 years down the line. So, and they're not going to be around anyway after that. So the point is, you can call it emergency temporary housing to get through all that bureaucratic red tape for those permits. This is again the vaulted ceiling structure that they have. They put the domes together. Now this is like a dome community. They have it kind of meandering through those little pods. They call these where you sleep. They call them bed wombs because there's the shape of the womb. And again, another floor plan from the Eco Dome. Here's the kitchen, bathroom, bedroom niche or womb, bed womb. Here's the windsock to allow, filtration of air through. And here's the front door entrance, skylight above. So it's amazing. And here's a dome. It should be camouflage. This sitting out is perfect, except that it's not underground. But that means that so marauding groups can't come and locate it. Now this is interesting, the elite hidden plan. I just came across this the other day because it was the anniversary of his death. There is a plot in this country, JFK stated, to enslave every man, woman, and child. Before I leave this high and noble office, I intend to expose this plot. This was stated 7 days before his assassination. Do you understand? If you're getting goosebumps and cool chills, you have to understand. You promised to help your brother and sister against people that would control heinously this way. This is the whole point. You have to take a new perspective. This perhaps could be a land area where, see, you could put your community against that, take the top of that hill right down over it, should be fine, okay? But you see no other point of civilization there. It has to be a location that people can't normally get to. Has to be hidden, okay? You have to consciously work together. When I said consciously, it's not to compete, it's to work together in that compassion high state so that you can work together with all your brothers and sisters to build the darn thing while you're on this new phase that we're getting ready into. And to learn to work with nature. They've got flowers and they're in there giving that presence of nature. Work with her. Mother Nature's just doing something natural. She's giving birth to a new world. Let her. Stop trying to stop her, to terminate it. Let her grow. And here from the ground up, sending the energy into the ground. So we are back in tune with her. We were supposed to be her guardians, work in symbiosis with the earth. Well, we failed that miserably. Next time, in the next few months, in the next phase of this, let's move forward and work with her always. We're going to have no choice. We're going to have no choice. Nature will wear away, water will wear away stone. All the nice Grand Canyons and gorges were all huge waterways. People forget. It says in Genesis, and God replenished the earth. What does that mean? Replenish. Do it again. So this is not scary. We've done it before. We can do it again. We have to get in there with courage. You have to understand, those that are going transition, we want to wish them the best. In Western world, it's taught terribly. Every time you mourn for somebody that's passed on, it causes them severe pain. It was for 5 years. When we are born, we promise, as I said earlier, when we transition, go home to God and the universe again. Be happy, that's graduation. They got lucky, they graduated from Earth School. You're still stuck here with all of us. They got the better deal. You're still stuck trying to get this thing through. And then after a couple of years it takes on, usually on that side, then ask them to help. Where food and fresh water are, air, they can help and visit. Loved ones and friends and relatives will visit on the left. It's quite different from your guide, which is always at the right. So it's important that you understand they don't know as much as your guide does. So they just say, hi, how are you? But you want that guide's input and you want to continue to listen. If you can't hear, it's because you need to raise your vibration till you can hear. And there's an easy way to do it. If you have a love for the divine, a love for God, Creator, in your own way, source, force, all there is. I don't care what word you use. If you connect, it'll automatically shoot you a higher vibratory rate where you can learn to hear. Raise that antenna. If it's an inch a day, fine, it's better than not at all. So with your meditations, you will do that. We, get ready, 15 minutes to get ready, shower, and get out there. When was the last time you listened in meditation to what Divine had to give to you? Did you take 15 minutes today, yesterday? I did. I would do it an hour at night, an hour in the morning, which was my normal schedule. For years, to keep attuning, to keep attuning. Yes, it's tough, but what the heck? Don't you want to listen to more guidance? I found that was great because they tell me what to watch out for, who to watch out for, where to go, what to do. It was awesome the more I would connect. Plus I had all these clients I'm dealing with, and their lives are precious. I have to give them information that is pertinent for the quality of their life and soul growth. So it's important that you look at this new perspective and realize perfect and be happy that you're here because you're a leader that promised to help a lot of people work through this. Those that transition, as I said, I wish them the best and ease in transition. Those that are left, let's meditate to make sure we get everything done that we need to. But learn the difference, the way we talk. And I guess it is in some Scandinavian countries and in India, they celebrate for they mourn for 3 days when you're born. Oh, you're back. Oh, it's tough. You're back. And when you pass, they have a big bonfire, and they party with good food for 3 days. Yay, you graduated. So we have to learn the difference. It is just graduation. Doorway in, doorway out. One soul, remember, that lives forever. It is finite. We just we choose these cute little bodies and genders and places and locations. You could have been Chinese last lifetime. You could have been, how can I say, Nicaraguan last life. You understand, we choose these beautiful qualities to help us complete our soul growth, understanding and awareness. So ultimately, we'll all keep growing, and spiritually, mentally, and physically, we have to continue growing. But it's with us supporting her through this process. Help her grow. We can't stop her, but be aware, face the reality of it. And then work within the universe. That's part of your world too. That cosmos is your connection. So it's important that you understand that there's a greater world outside this little earth.